All right, I think it is 12 o'clock, so let's get started. Thank you for joining us on our 4 ways of saving with your Thermomix webinar. Today, we're going to share a couple of different ways, our favourite ways of saving money with your Thermomix. Can you let me know? I know we've got quite a few of you on here. I can't quite see exactly how many, but let us know where you're coming in from. Maybe you can let us know if you've already got a Thermomix and which model Thermomix you have, or maybe you don't quite have a Thermomix yet, in which case you can pop in the comments, not yet. We always love to hear that. While that's happening, my name's Helen Boyadzakis. I am the content specialist and one of the marketing team here. I've been with Thermomix for 15 years. I started out as a consultant and I moved through to becoming a leader and now finally at a place where I'm in the marketing department. Super excited to share some special guests with you today as well, who are also part of the Thermomix family, and that'll be Hannah and Colette, who will join us a little bit later to share their wealth of knowledge as well. All right, so let's get started. Let's maybe Jess, who we got coming in? Have we got quite a few people commenting in there?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we've got about 200 people joining so far.
Fabulous.
A couple of people who have upgraded from the TM31 to the TM6 recently.
Fantastic. Well, welcome. All right, let's just explore the 4 ways that you can save money with your Thermomix. So the 4 main areas that we're going to cover today are the takeaways. We're going to be covering meal planning. We're going to be covering the basics, and we're going to be covering snacks. So there are 4 ways. I'll just get the slide to go over to the next. Perfect. All right, so there are 4 ways. What I wanted to share with you first is just a little bit of stats. So I'm not sure if you know, but the average family, the average Australian family, spends about $153 per week on their groceries. Now, out of that, in a year, we waste about 1 in 5 bags of shopping, goes straight in the bin. So I don't know about you guys, but I am actually guilty of that, where in the past I have purchased things and they've been left in my fridge or in my pantry for a little bit too long and they don't get used. So they end up going in the bin. And I don't have chooks, which would be so much better because then at least somebody would get to enjoy it. So let me know if you can relate. Have you been guilty of wasting some food at home? By the way, I didn't mention we do have a little comp here. I'd love this to be an interactive webinar. Get your involvement. So if you can get in there commenting with us, that would be awesome. And you'll even be in the running to win a book pack. We've got 5 winners we're going to choose today who's going to win 2 books, Meals in a Flash and Simply Delicious, simply for commenting and engaging with us through this webinar.
And Helen, our chat is disabled at the moment, but if you use the Q&A feature, you can interact with us there.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So let's have a look at the first way of saving money. That's in our takeaways. So I'm going to kick off with the takeaways because that's a really big area that you can save money in your Thermomix. So let's have a look at the recipe that's up there at the moment, the chicken teriyaki. I want you to have a think about who loves buying takeaway, like who actually remembers themselves going and purchasing chicken teriyaki as a takeaway dish. Let us know. And if you have bought it, what are some of the other takeaway things that you buy? Just have a think about that because I'm actually going to get started in cooking and then we can talk a little bit more about how takeaways, by making them yourself, can save you so much money. So my dish that I'm cooking is the chicken teriyaki. I love it. It's a family favorite and it's super, super simple. I've popped it into my week and there it is. And we're going to get started cooking because I've already got all of the ingredients pre-prepped for me. Very first thing that we're going to do is add 10 grams of olive oil. Always remember to tear your scales because sometimes you end up pressing the next step and you've still got your lid on, for example. So we're going to pop in 10 grams of olive oil. Oh, I've put a little bit more. Do not fear. I've actually put a little bit more. I'm going to just do this. There's a tip for you guys. It doesn't matter because the Thermomix scales are still active. Oh, they've changed. Doesn't matter. All right, we've got about 10 grams in there. Let's go to next. We're going to put in our skinless chicken thigh is what I've used, and I've just cut it into strips. I'm not sure if you can see that. That's going straight into my Thermomix. Okay, next step. Who's using guided cooking, by the way, and loving it? Hopefully everybody is. We're going to pop our lid back on, and it's asking us to pop the splash guard. With the TM6, for those of you that maybe don't have a TM6, this particular feature is exclusive to our TM6. And it does require a splash guard when we're using high heat, which is what we're going to engage. Next, it's got our little symbol there. And that's it. 5-minute cook, high heat. All right. So let's get back to, I'm not sure if the chat, we might have it all in the Q&A, is it? Let us know what kind of takeaways you are buying when you're out there. What are some of the things that you buy as takeouts? What have we got, Jess?
Some really common takeaway options is Thai, which is one of my favourites too.
Yes, Thai is definitely a favourite of mine as well. I love Thai food. What else? What else have we got?
There's also Indian food, so curries, which we know is amazing, made in the Thermomix.
It sure is. So that's a couple of examples. What about how much money you're spending on takeouts a week? That's always amazing. Even if you get one lot of takeaways, sometimes I think we got pizza once and it was kind of gourmet pizza, but for 4 of us, and I think it was only 3 pizzas that we shared amongst the 4, was about $90, which is just crazy when you can make pizza yourself at home, right? So what I wanted to ask, or to talk through, I guess, is that on Cookidoo, there's a Cookidoo platform. Let me know if you're already on the Cookidoo platform, if you're using it. If you're not, you must get yourself on there, and Colette's going to come on a little bit later and show you a little bit about Cookidoo. But what we have on Cookidoo are hundreds of recipes that are pretty much take the place of any takeaway that you want to get. So any cuisine you're looking for, guaranteed that there's a recipe for it on Cookidoo. There is even a collection called Fakeaway Favorites. So we have coined the takeaways that we make in our Thermomix as fakeaways. And if you look up the collection Fakeaway Favorites, that's got a whole heap in there. It's got things like beef tacos, pork gyros with tzatziki, kung pao chicken. That's just to name a few of those things. There's a universal search button on Cookidoo, which is really, really user-friendly. You can just type in whichever, takeaway you're looking for. Even if you type in fakeaway, a whole heap of dishes are going to come up because they've been tagged as fakeaway. So that's Cookidoo. Let me know if there's anything that you're doing currently in the Thermomix that you would consider a fakeaway. You can pop that into the Q&A. I don't think we've got the chat working yet, have we? It's all still not there. All right, Q&A. Okay, that's going. We've still got about 2 more minutes to go. Let's go to, I think, the next slide, and that way we'll come back to this in just a moment. So takeaways, I wanted to read this quote out to you. This came from one of our customers called Claire, and Claire wanted us to know that because the Thermomix makes creating restaurant quality meals so easy, takeout nights are now at home. So there's no more money spent on Ubers, on overpriced meals and expensive bottles of wine. We can do all of this in the comfort of our own home for a fraction of the price with the slippers on. So that leads me to reminded me to share with you, let's not limit ourselves to just takeaways. When you're saving money with your Thermomix, restaurant meals are also included in this. Have a think about the meals that you spend money on, that you go specifically to a restaurant because maybe it's not a dish that you're confident in making. Maybe you don't know how to make it. Maybe it's just the quality you get at the restaurant that you absolutely love. So one of the dishes that I can relate to here is risotto. When I was first introduced to the Thermomix 15 years ago, risotto was one of the first dishes I made. Now, that was a dish that I never attempted to make. It just was time consuming. It took, a lot of effort sitting and stirring. Some people find it therapeutic. I did not. I went to a restaurant and that's where I would enjoy my risotto. Since having the Thermomix and being able to make it in the Thermomix, there's no need. So I know that going out to restaurants is a lovely thing to do, but at least you can save those for experiences, because that's what, for me, going out to a restaurant is all about. It's that social element and maybe an experience, and definitely something that I can't make at home. So any dish that you go out specifically because you can't make it at home, I want you to go onto the Cookidoo platform and type it in. You'll be amazed sometimes at what is on the platform. As I said, there's like thousands of recipes on there, and that's just on Australia. If you take the filter off and take, uncheck your Australia in your filters, then you've got even more access to recipes from around the world. So that's just a little tip there on don't limit yourself to just takeaway meals. Have a think about the restaurant meals that you can save money on as well. All right, we've got 7 seconds to go. I'm going to pop the next cook on, and then we're going to get into the next way that we can save money with the Thermomix. All right. We'll open that up. That's beautifully cooked up my chicken. It's asking me to now use the tongs to take that chicken out and pop it into a thermoserver. Who's got one of these? These are pretty fantastic to use with your Thermomix because they keep your food warm. What it's asking me to do is actually to take out the chicken, but to leave the juices behind in the bowl, because we're going to use those juices for the next element in this dish. So let's get those out as much as you can anyway. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. And now there's a lot of ooey gooey goodness. I don't know if you can see that at the bottom of this bowl. And that is gold. It's delicious. You really want to use your spatula and scrape that base away into the dish, because that's just going to add another level of flavor for you in your dish. You really don't want that to go anywhere. It's not burnt, it's caramelized. All right, what's our next step is to scrape. Oh, it's actually telling you to do that. There you go. Scrape the base, loosen up any of that caramelization at the bottom to incorporate it. Now we want our shallots. So that's 30 grams of shallots that are going straight in. And I've just thinly sliced them. 100 grams of capsicum, red capsicums going in. We next have carrots, thinly sliced. There we go. I'm not sure if you guys have seen some news about a particular item that's going to be coming out to Thermomix World next year, and that is our cutter, which would make this super easy to do. All right, 30 grams of snow peas is going in there. You could have cut them in half if you wanted to. 120 of broccoli, because this is making that stir fry part of the dish. There we go. Then we want the rest of the olive oil, which is why I couldn't use it all at the beginning. We want the remainder of the olive oil, another 10 grams in there. Okay. Now we're going to put our splash guard back on because we're using high heat again. Press done. Another 5 minutes. And away it goes. So I could go on forever and ever about takeaways, but I am conscious of time, and I really want to share with you our very first special guest, the lovely Hannah Rogers, who is going to be talking to you about basics and how you can save up to $20 a week on just 5 dishes. Go for it, Hannah, take it away.
Thanks, Helen. Making our own basics and staples is a huge area of opportunity to keep our savings in our pocket, as almost all the things that we need are in our pantries already. And pretty much anything that you buy is more expensive than to make it. So, for example, would you pay $7 for a litre of milk? Probably not. It's a little bit steep. That's exactly what we're doing when we buy a litre of yogurt. It's actually just fermented milk. So what you can do is you can put a litre of milk into your TM6 on fermentation mode before you go to bed, tablespoon of your last batch of yogurt, and you can wake up the most creamy pot set yogurt, 0 additives. And the TM5 and TM31s also have yogurt recipes, so go check out your basic cookbooks for those. We have a slide for this, sorry, Helen. Sorry, I've just thought there's one coming up. That's all right. I'll keep talking. So bread doughs for scrolls and pizza bases only cost around $1 to make and only 2 minutes of kneading time in your Thermomix. There we go. Thank you. So you can make a batch of 6 scrolls for around the price it costs to buy a single scroll from a bakery. They're easy to freeze for work or school lunches, which is another saving in itself. And you can make them with your favourite flavours. Pizza margherita, which you've got featured there, is one of the most incredibly budget-friendly dishes. A can of tomatoes is around 80 cents if you buy the no-name brand. 2 pizza bases, less than $2 to make. So your whole family can be fed for, you know, around the $5 mark. It's incredible. Up and goes are more than $11 for 6 these days. You can make your own large batch in the 2.2 litre jug of the Thermomix, keep it in the fridge, pour yourself a keep cup worth when you're going out the door. Veggie stock paste. Now, I normally use veggies that are probably on their way out and due to be composted, so mine's almost free. But if you were to buy fresh veggies from the supermarket, you can make a batch of this concentrate, mix a couple of tablespoons with a litre of water, and then you'll have your own liquid stock on the ready for about 50 cents for a litre rather than $2.75 for a litre. So we've done up the costings for these 5 recipes you see on the screen. Making these at home every week will save you $21, and that's being conservative. So saving you $1,105 per year just on those recipes. And the Thermomix is designed to last for years and years and years. So the savings just add up. Could we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. Because this is just the beginning. There are so many staples you can make. You've got mayonnaise, it's just oil, egg, mustard, and a bit of salt and pepper. You've got those things, and it takes your Thermomix just 2 minutes to make. I think sometimes we fear that it's going to take time to make these things, but in reality, a lot of them are very quick. Condensed milk, you can see there, is just butter, powdered milk and sugar, and that's 4 minutes to do. You can even grind your own gluten-free flour mix. I've seen that's gone up in the supermarket a lot. The Thermomix can grind grains, so rice, quinoa, you can make your own beautiful flour mixes. Nuts and seed butter is also a favorite here. You can control the ingredients. I've seen almond spread in the supermarket before for 40% almonds. So when you make it yourself, it'll be 100% almonds and maybe a little pinch of salt. And also with the price of petrol right now, you don't want to be ducking to the shops for 1 or 2 ingredients all the time. Like, for example, golden syrup is just sugar and water. Amazing. Just cooked up for 40 minutes and we pay $7 for a jar. It costs about 80 cents to make your own. So I see the Thermomix the same way as solar panels. Once you've invested in them, your power bill will be lower. So similarly with the Thermomix, once you've invested in it, your grocery bill should be lower, at least by these $21 that we showed you today. Thanks, Helen.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you for some tips. Hope you guys have picked up some tips and inspiration from Hannah just then. And I think we have our chat box working now, so feel free to pop in some comments in the chat box. All right, this is almost done, but I think it's still got a little bit of time. So I'm going to kick off our 3rd speaker for today, our guest speaker, and that is the beautiful Colette. And Colette's been with Thermomix for 5 years. Colette is going to share the wonderful world of meal planning with you. Take it away, Colette.
Thank you so much, Helen. So many of us actually suffer with something called food fog. Each day we ask ourselves, what's for dinner? Now, I know none of you actually do that, but just in case there's someone out there. And research tells us that we actually tend to choose something from one of those 12 dishes that we constantly make. We think we're sorted, but then in the afternoon, that little alarm rings again, food fog is back, and we're thinking, oh my goodness, I don't think I've got mince for that bolognese that I'm going to make tonight, so I better duck into the shop in the way home. Now, we're standing at the checkout there, and there's a beautiful magazine with a gorgeous picture of biryani, and you think, oh, I could make that. That's going to be awesome. So somehow that magazine jumps into your shopping bag. And of course, the chocolate bars are there at the checkout, and you treat yourself to a chocolate. After all, you're doing the shopping. Now, you actually end up looking in your basket, and you've got the 2-for-1 Ritz crackers, but of course you've got that beautiful little broccoli that you've picked up in the produce section. So you pay for that, and you end up paying about $30, and then you get home and it's just chaos. You're not organized, the kids are fighting, and you've got to make this dinner. And you go to the pantry and you try to find that passata, and you suddenly realize you don't have that. So what ends up happening is that mince ends up going into the freezer, and you end up probably getting McDonald's. Now, I know none of you are like that, but hey, let's pop into the chat where the food fog ever enters into your mind during the day. Now, one of the great things is that Thermomix is our knight in shining armor. It has the most amazing meal planning facility, and you have the choice whether you want to develop this new habit and make meal planning a thing for you. So why would you do that? basically because you're not going to have that food fog. How liberating will it feel when you know exactly what you're going to be cooking and you know exactly what you've got at home in the pantry, fridge and freezer, and you're not going to waste anything. Other reasons why you want to make that is basically you're going to be less stress. You and the family are going to have much more fun around mealtime. You're going to eat healthier. You're going to save time. You're going to have less waste, because let's face it, we never throw food out. And, you know, based on those figures, you're going to be saving around $1,600, I'd say minimum, with food planning. And when you think about that, put it into something tangible, that adds up to 2.5 months of free grocery shopping. Wouldn't you want to do that? Now, what I'd love to do is to share with you Cookidoo, which is the tool that we have that works with Thermomix to actually help that meal planning. So I'm going to share my method, and hopefully you'll be able to get a few tips that are going to help you to develop this amazing habit that the Thermomix and Cookidoo can enable us to do. So I start on a Saturday night. I go to my fridge, pantry and freezer, and I check to see what's in there to be used up. And guess what? That broccoli that I popped into my shopping basket is in the fridge still. So I've simply typed in broccoli, and I'm just scooting down here, and look, here comes a beautiful dish that I know, broccoli, chili and pine nut. Takes very few ingredients. It's really delicious. It takes hardly any time. I know it. I'm just going to plug that into my actual weekly plan. Need to log in first though. So here we go into the meal plan, and you can do it really very, very quickly simply by clicking the 3 dots, adding it to your week, and that will go into your meal plan. So the next day I think, okay, I'm going to use up those meatballs in the freezer, but then the following day I get to explore. Now, one of the things you want to be doing with Cookidoo is creating your recipe collections. We've got over 88,000 different things that you can make. That's an amazing fun. So you want to be popping in those key proteins, you know, chicken, etc. And I'm going to have something from my chicken collection that I'm going to have for that following day. So I head into my chicken collection. These are dishes that I've made before and I love or I want to make. And I might decide to do the chicken katsu curry, 3 dots for action, add to my week, choose the day I'm going to cook that and save it. Bang, done. My mealtime takes me about 7 minutes a week. It's great. So I've had chicken. And I've had a beautiful pasta dish. So the next time I might go for a meat dish or I might go for a fish dish. So once you've done that, you head into your week and up pops your wonderful ingredients. And you can do a screenshot, pop that on the fridge so the whole family can actually see what you've got coming up. We also have the amazing facility to head back and see what you've cooked in previous weeks, because we forget, we've got so much choice. I can go to Christmas Day 2 years ago and know exactly what I cooked on that Christmas Day. So it's such a fantastic facility. Now, once you've got your ingredients, you can click on the ones that you want and you can just add that to your shopping list. And then you can say, show me the ingredients. And wow, here it comes, all the ingredients for your week for the list. And you go down this, you've got water, so let's take that off. You've got noodles, let's take that off. And then you realize you don't have the noodles, so we're going to pop it back on again. So it takes care of all of those situations. Once you're happy with that shopping list, you can order your ingredients, click the button, and it zooms off really quickly to Woolies. And Woolies are so efficient, it comes back immediately with our shopping list for the week. And you go down here and you check. So Woolies vegetable oil, I'm going to swap that out. I don't like own brand in this particular case. I can choose Crisco, for example. So you've got full choice to choose to amend, decrease, increase quantities. Once you've done that, you are actually going to add that to your Woolies cart, and then you can add the toothpaste and the toilet roll on, and then you can organize to pay for delivery, which is a few dollars, or you can actually go and pick it up. And there's a lot of Woolies now that have drive-through pickups. Now, just think about that. How liberated are you going to feel not having that daily food fog? it's going to be amazing. So I really encourage you to make that habit to actually go in and start trying to meal plan. You and your family are going to have so much fun around mealtime. And guess what? You are going to save a substantial amount of time and money. That's me. I'm going to stop share.
There we go. Awesome. Sorry, I was just waiting for the unmute. Thank you so much, Colette. You have shared so much information that is just valuable when it comes to meal planning on Cookidoo. Guys, what do you think? Did you get a lot out of that with Colette's share? She's made navigating Cookidoo so much easier, I think. Now, one of the things about meal planning, as Colette has shared, it's the best way to save money, save time, waste less, stress less. And the bonus is that you get to eat healthy and you get to eat more variety, because you don't ever want cooking to become boring, right? And that's the beautiful thing about having the Thermomix there when you're doing all of your meal planning. Okay, I'm just going to finish off this sauce before I go on. Oh, yeah, that's right. Before I forget, while we're on the topic of Cookidoo, there's so much that you can do on that Cookidoo platform. I don't know if you've explored the whole value that Cookidoo can bring you, but if you want to know more, because I know we can't fit it into this savings webinar, there is going to be a dedicated Cookidoo webinar that's coming up on the 7th of November. So we are going to be sending out an email with the recording to this webinar by the end of the week, probably. I think it's the end of the week, more than likely. And you will get the links to the Cookidoo webinar and some other things that were shared in today's webinar as well. So look out for your emails in your inbox for that. But that's going to be one not to miss if you really want to make the most out of your Cookidoo platform. All right, let's just finish off the sauce. What I've done in the meantime is I've popped the veggies into my thermoserver. Actually, let's just take it out of there. So you can see I've popped the veggies in there with the chicken, and I've scraped out that caramelization at the base of my bowl again. And now it's told us on the screen, do not wash your bowl. Who loves hearing that? Because that just saves time, right? And washing up when you don't have to clean in between bowls. All right, we want to put in 10 grams of ginger and 10 grams of garlic cloves. This is to make our sauce. So a lot of the time, even when you're getting takeout, what you'll find is that some restaurants are using teriyaki out of a sauce bottle, right? This is making it from scratch. We're going to chop that 8 seconds on speed 7. Literally making the teriyaki sauce from scratch here. All right. When you can hear that the sound has finished, it's not really chopping anymore, you don't have to wait for the full countdown. You can just stop your Thermomix by pressing the dial. All right, that smells beautiful. Wish you guys could smell this, but that is my chopped garlic and ginger. I'm just going to scrape it down to make sure that it goes down to the base. You might have seen a little bit of the caramelization there as well. Okay, next we're putting in our tamari. And that is a gluten-free option as well, tamari. We want 30 grams of honey. Another nice sweetener rather than sugar, which sometimes you just don't know what you're getting, right? When you're buying it pre-bought. Okay, next we've got 2 teaspoons of corn flour. I'm just sprinkling it around rather than right in the middle, because then it tends to just sit on the blade. You're better off when you sprinkle it around the edges of the blade. And then 2 teaspoons of water. And if you happen to get anything on the blade, then you can use the water to help get it off. And now we want to put our simmering basket in place of our MC, because we're going to cook. And the simmering basket also helps to allow that evaporation to happen, so it thickens that sauce for us. So we've got 3 minutes on 100 degrees, speed 3.5. And away that goes. So that's now going to go for another 3 odd minutes, and we're going to have our sauce done from scratch. So getting back to our ways of saving money with your Thermomix, the very last but definitely not least way is snacks. So I don't know about you guys, but snacks is a big part of our lives. I think we're all resort to snacks at some point, whether they're healthy or not healthy. I want you to have a think about what's currently in your fridge and your pantry in terms of snacks that you already have purchased. Have a think about it and pop in the comment section, what snacks do you buy on a regular basis? And maybe how much money do you think per week you're spending on just snacks alone? What you'll find is that snacks are crucial. We love to have them, but they can be super expensive. They'll add to your grocery bill by the end of the shop. So that's why one of the tips that we give is don't go shopping when you're hungry. Make sure you have a full stomach, because then you tend to grab all the snacks. And if you're spending more time in the aisle section of your supermarket than in the fresh section, that's an area that you can look at to help you to save some money. Some of the things we've got on the screen here are our delicious, easy to make, and it's going to save you money snacks. So things like LCMs, for example, is a big one. You can make those yourself very, very cheaply in the Thermomix. Doesn't compromise on flavor or taste. They're super simple. We actually coined a term called LTMs, little Thermomix munchies, rather than LCMs. And my kids, when they were growing up, that's what they enjoyed. Cookies and biscuits, super, super easy to make and have on hand. Again, a fraction of the cost to what you're going to be paying, not to mention the health benefit, because when you're buying anything pre-packaged, there's a lot more ingredients in those than when you were to make it, than if you're going to make it yourself. Donuts, really nice sometimes snack, but you can make them yourself. Your chia puddings, your smoothies and juices, your scrolls, all of those are examples of snacks that you can enjoy by making them in your Thermomix. And I know some people have said to me in the past, won't I be spending all my time in the kitchen? You won't, because for those of you that have used the Thermomix, you know it doesn't take very much on time for you. You're just putting the ingredients in and the Thermomix is doing all the hard work for you. So that's our snacks. Now I'm just waiting for this to finish. It's only got 16 seconds and I want to plate it up for you. We've shared with you quite a bit of information, me and our two fabulous Thermomix experts, Hannah and Colette, but you don't have to take our word for it. We have hundreds, if not thousands, of testimonials from our customers who have also enjoyed saving money with their Thermomix. So let me just get this out and then I'm just going to go through some of those testimonials. And in the meantime, maybe you can add your ways that, for those of you that have a Thermomix, how has the Thermomix saved you money? How have you benefited in your savings, in your pockets, by having a Thermomix in your kitchen? Because I'm sure you all have your own stories. So this is my beautiful, nice, thick teriyaki sauce that I'm going to pour into my chicken. Let's move this out to the side. My chicken and veggies here. And then we're going to give it a good stir. Look at that. How awesome is that? Beautiful, thick, caramelized teriyaki sauce made from scratch with love by me and my Thermomix. Let's get as much of that out as we can. Now, if I was at home, I would take it a step further and I would probably pop this back on there, spit all of that off the blade so that we don't have any wastage whatsoever. And we're just going to stir this through, make sure that all our veggies and our chicken is coated with that beautiful teriyaki sauce. Oh, wow. So this is what we're having for lunch today. I'm not sure about you guys. And I've got some rice noodles here that were prepared earlier. They take like a minute. You can do rice if you want to, steam your rice in the Thermomix at this point. And we're just going to top it with some chicken and some veggies. There we go. That's one serving. And you can finish it off with a little bit of sesame seeds as garnish. Look at that. One bowl. How much did we say that costs? $2.72 or something like that. for one serve of teriyaki, how much do you pay for this when you buy this takeout at the shops? A lot more, right? All right, let's continue on and finish off. I might just pop this back on here. I'll clean that out after. Okay, so the testimonials. So Erin's talked about baby puree and how much money she saves by making her own baby puree rather than purchasing it from the shop, from the supermarket. Sandra makes all her condiments and her sauces in the Thermomix, and that's where she's saving money. And Chris, who's on a tight budget, has found that the savings that she's made has helped her to repay her Thermomix. I always used to tell my customers that it's probably one of the only appliances in your kitchen that's going to make you money, because once it's paid for itself, all that extra savings goes into your pocket. You could even start your maybe holiday fund with the extra money that you save with the Thermomix. All right, so that brings me to how do you get a Thermomix if you don't have one? So there's some people here who maybe are thinking of upgrading from a TM5 or a TM31, or maybe you know or have some friends or family who would really benefit from having the Thermomix. So we can't possibly leave this webinar without telling you how to share with them how to get one in your kitchen really quickly and really easily. We have a 40-month interest-free promo at the moment where you can get your Thermomix for as little as $15.46, is it? Yes, per week. Now, have a think back to what Hannah shared with those 5 basic recipes, which can save you $20 a week, right? You can see how the Thermomix can definitely pay for itself. Now, if you are thinking you want to see a little bit more of what the TM6 can do, we actually have a fantastic new cooking demonstration called the Modes demonstration, and that has got a whole new menu. It's a brunch menu. Now, at that demonstration, you can see things like poached eggs and a silky smooth hollandaise sauce, all made in the Thermomix. That's an example of restaurant dishes that I would normally go out to a restaurant or a cafe and pay top dollar to get, like an Eggs Benedict. You can see this in the comfort of your own home or virtually if you prefer, by connecting with your consultant and requesting one of these Modes demonstrations. So there's a whole heap of other recipes there in the menu that you can choose from, but I just wanted to mention the one that I know a lot of people go out to buy. All right. Best way, the other thing that I just wanted to leave you with is, for those of you that might be interested in staying inspired and learning a lot more, or maybe even using as an opportunity to earn your Thermomix, is to come on board and join us and share the love. So I joined 15 years ago purely to earn my Thermomix. We have a promo again at the moment where if you come on board and you are wanting to earn it, it's for sales only rather than our usual 6. If you want to find out more information, reach out to your consultant. We do have a national business information session, which is on the 10th of October. So if you're wanting to register for that, again, the email that's going to come out to you by the end of the week will have all of those links to register for those. And finally, that kind of comes to the end of our savings webinar. But what is next for you guys? Firstly, remember to connect with your consultant. If you don't have a consultant, reach out to us and we can help connect you. But book in one of those Modes demo. It is an amazing thing to see. Check out our Cookidoo webinar that we've got coming up. But in the meantime, check out Cookidoo, have a play. So much that you can do on the Cookidoo platform, including checking out the Simply Delicious collection, because that has quite a lot of recipes, all for $5 or under per serve. So if you're really conscious of savings at the moment, go and check out that specific collection, because that's got a lot there. And finally, the easiest part is start with those 5 basic recipes that we shared: the yogurt, the pizza, the breakfast on the go, the veggie stock, and the scrolls. They are super simple, easy dishes that you can make and enjoy the savings that come with it. So that's pretty much brings us to the end, guys. I hope you've enjoyed and had some takeaways from today. I'd love to hear one final comment from you guys as to what was your favorite part of today. What was the tip that you're taking away with you, or something that wowed you from today? And remember, we will be drawing out something for the engagement. Thank you for engaging with us. I couldn't quite see the comments, but Jess was sharing a few